Yeah, that's a big old fire.
Truck 3.
The fire's out of control right now.
Neighbors and all.
I wanted to see what was going on.
So much smoke you could barely see the home in Southeast on W Street near 16th.
I'm saying a bunch of smoke, fire shooting up out the ceiling. The flames was high, almost higher than a tree for real.
Firefighters working quickly to put it all out.
I hate to see something happen like this.
Angle your master straight downward.
I was the first one out here.
This neighbor says she came out when she heard the blaring sirens.
I was just coming out my building right here, and then I see all this black smoke.
Everyone watching, waiting, and nodding.
Look at that, the fire's still coming out, shooting out. The water ain't doing no good.
As it burned, part of the house collapsed. Fire spread to adjacent homes.
Truck 3, truck 3.
But the woman living inside made it out in time.
Somebody just pray and help this lady and her family get another home. But I just hope everybody's safe.
In Southeast Washington,
It's terrible.
Pat Savella, News Channel 8.
We have a strong team.
Game time is 7 o'clock. Work and traffic usually delay the fun, but no time is wasted.
Chile has played good.
They stretch, catch up,
Germany and Spain. Spain went home.
and practice.
Relax, breathe, in, out. My name is Dominic Hall. I'm from Dominican Republic. Been playing soccer since I was like 9 years old. You have everybody gathered here all in one, playing together with no discrimination.
You okay? You okay? I'm sorry.
No fighting, it's just the love of the game.
It's love, romance, a multicultural passion.
My name is Faroud Arsanjani, and I'm from Iran. Last I checked, we had representatives from 18 different countries: Israel, Mexico, US, Nigeria, Cameroon, Italy, Croatia, Germany, El Salvador, Honduras, Colombia, Argentina.
That's just one team. And yes, they all live in and around Washington.
Let's go!
My name is Mark Hugo Lopez, and I am of Mexican origin. One of the largest Ethiopian communities in the United States is here in Washington, D.C. The nation's second largest Salvadoran community is also here.
Lopez works for Pew Research. They constantly crunch numbers and look at demographic trends.
And Washington has attracted immigrants from around the world, partly because of its universities, partly because of the presence of organizations like the World Bank.
Germany or Brazil, one of the two.
Back at the Maryland Soccerplex,
Be ourselves, man. Be how we know how to play.
the game's second half is about to start.
My name is Bill Amick. I'm from the United States. You know, making fun of each other, cheering each other on, getting better.
Take it, take it, take it. Don't let him shoot it.
My name is Bryce Fomenye. I'm from Cameroon. It's like a second religion in Cameroon.
Stadium lights are brighter. And the fans a bit rowdier. Not the World Cup,
It's my life.
but to these guys,
The nicer one would have been in the goal.
it surely comes close.
This is my field. This is my World Cup stadium.
In Germantown, Maryland, Pat Savella, ABC 7 News.
We all just cleared after that.
Police scanners, the only noise cutting through the eerie silence on Main Street, where people stood watching in shock.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little shaky right now.
Shaken after seeing a life snuffed out in an instant. A woman's final moments witnessed by a crowd and captured on a surveillance camera. This footage shows the victim strolling on the sidewalk. Seconds later, as she crosses the street, it's over. A turning bus, the last thing she saw.
The woman fell, went under the bus, and was dragged approximately 20 feet.
First time man was running over there screaming. I said, hey, 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 hey.
Just knocking on the bus, telling them back up, back up. So then he finally backed up, and that's when I seen she was laying on the ground, lifeless.
A billowing sheet covered the victim's body as it laid on the pavement for hours. Investigators working around her as they combed the bus for evidence.
We're handling it right now as if it were a crime scene.
With yellow tape strung up to block out bystanders, police stood outside the line speaking with the victim's co-workers, overcome with grief.
Come today, they should be coming today shortly.
Police now piecing together whether what happened was a crime or tragic accident as strangers stage their own moment of silence.
That's where I see that some of them are wrong on.
You can't beat it. The early morning breeze, the sound of the music echoing off the buildings and everything.
One of Earl Cotton's favorite things is to make music along a corridor rich in American history.
It's right on the main drag. It's on Pennsylvania Avenue, which Pennsylvania Avenue leads right to the Capitol.
inspired by scenery.
It looks like a castle right in the heart of D.C., and it's beautiful.
Cotton has been playing in the shadow of one of Washington's treasured landmarks for years.
When I look at the tower, I think of history. You know, the history of Benjamin Franklin, the old post office.
Ben Franklin's steady resolve welcomes visitors who stroll by the old post office.
It was built to be the headquarters of the old post office.
Visitors like Lori Savage and her family.
We were walking around the corner and just astonished at the detail.
This stunning structure, completed in 1899, was the city's first skyscraper. It remains its third tallest building.
Unbelievable building.
Granite walls, 5 feet thick, support a clock tower that soars 315 feet into the sky.
It's just an awe-inspiring building. It's huge. It's gorgeous.
The observation deck offers jaw-dropping panoramic views of a Capitol rarely seen from this perspective.
We heard it was a great site.
Zach Savage and his dad Brian.
It's a really cool building, yep.
Are like so many fathers and sons before them.
What are some of the details you like about the building?
They're enjoying a majestic place that has kept a watchful eye over a city that watches over a nation.
Looks really cool. I'd like to see the inside of it.
But he cannot go in due to an ever-changing financial landscape.
I think it's a lovely building, and I am sorry that it is being closed.
You see, the old post office was closed earlier this month to visitors. This student tour is the last time the general public will enjoy this magnificent space. In 2 years, it will reopen with the same facade, but an entirely new identity. It's being transformed into a luxury hotel, complete with fine dining and upscale shops, by none other than Donald Trump. He's paying $200 million to the federal government for a 60-year lease.
I think he's kind of overstepping.
Amanda Hickman does not want a 115-year-old national treasure turned over to Trump.
This is D.C. I mean, these are national, historic landmarks, and it's going to be a shame that people like us, everybody walking around won't be able to go upstairs and look at the city.
To understand why such drastic measures are being taken, we have to turn back the clock some 80 years. This architectural gem barely survived the 20th century. The post office moved out in the 1930s to be replaced by various federal offices. The building was deemed obsolete in the 60s, almost demolished in the 70s. Now federal officials say it's simply too expensive to return this statuesque structure to its glory.
It'll preserve it for a long time to come.
Lori Savage is in step with federal officials. They believe this massive makeover preserves a cherished piece of history while saving taxpayers millions.
Well, it certainly beats tearing it down. That would have been a shame.
I don't think you can do anything to make it better than what it is now.
If Earl Cotton could, he would play a lullaby for an old building surrounded by more than a century of memories that to be saved must be fundamentally changed. Jay Korf, News Channel 8.
Slow and steady on this stretch of Wisconsin Avenue today. The sidewalk, a mix of ice, snow, and slush. Treacherous enough, some were inching along. Many side streets were still completely covered.
They're pretty rough. It's still pretty icy, a lot of slush. Nothing's been cleared yet, so it's been a tough walk.
They're pretty icy and slick.
Others abandoned the sidewalk altogether, figuring it was safer to share the road with cars.
I'm worried about a number of things. I mean, first of all, my feet are gonna get wet and I don't want to fall down.
For the most part, the roads are in pretty good shape, but the sidewalks can be clear. They can be a sheet of ice. Or over here, it's not even clear where the sidewalk is or where the road is. With the sun out and the snow stopped, there was plenty of sidewalk clearing going on. It's slow, back-breaking work, but someone's got to do it.
A lot of work.
Joshua Loria is out shoveling, but not at his own home. He's one of dozens of volunteers working with Serve DC to dig out the homes of seniors. About 175 seniors like Wilma Wilson so far.
This is the first time a volunteer has come to this store to shovel snow.
It's a beautiful day. People need help.